Hello guys, and welcome back to the 2023-24 SDPN NHL season previews. Now we go on to Connor McDavid's Edmonton Oilers, a team hoping to take that next step out of mediocrity in the NHL playoffs and finally win a Stanley Cup. Which I know, a lot easier said than done, but we're going to be dissecting this entire offseason to see what's next with this Oilers roster. But of course, we've got to shout out our sponsor today in Sports Interaction. Get in the action and make your bet with Sports Interaction. The race for the pennant is heating up right now. Toronto trying to take a run at first in the AL East, so you don't want to miss out on a thing. Bet before the game or live in and play with all your favorite teams. Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN or download the app to get started. 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Now, when we look at this Oilers team, it's interesting because I think for a lot of their offseason, the moves were kind of made at the trade deadline. Specifically, Mattias Ekholm on that multi-year deal was kind of a trade deadline and offseason addition all by itself. They didn't really make that many additions this offseason. Really, the only one of substance is Connor Brown, who is in a unique spot and perfect in a kind of breakout role with the Oilers. You see over the past few seasons, solid production around that 30 to 40 point range, but this year went to the Capitals, only played 4 games and just had all the injury troubles in the world. Looks like he'll be back healthy though for this Oilers team in 2024, and alongside Connor McDavid, that's a match made in heaven. He has experience playing well with players like Austin Matthews on that first line, so as a good complementary player, Connor Brown is perfect. But that's the only addition the Oilers have made, and even though there's not a lot to tinker with because of the cap issues they have, it wasn't exactly an exciting offseason for them. Then you go on to the offseason subtractions, and even though Connor Brown is a really good depth option and maybe on that top pair could be an interesting complementary player, they also did lose a lot of forward depth here. Nick Bjugstad, who they acquired at the trade deadline, was likely to go into free agency anyways, but was still a pretty solid part of that bottom 6 for the Oilers. Klim Kostin, another player that was a big part of that bottom 6, and a really interesting power forward game this last year, 21 points, 57 games. He's off the roster, which I think is a big loss. And then you got Killer Yamamoto going to the Seattle Kraken, traded to the Red Wings, released, then went to the Kraken. 25 points, 58 games this last year. Maybe not as much of a loss in my opinion as Klim Kostin on that bottom 6, but another player that's been a part of that Oilers roster for a long time, that's gone. But maybe in Yamamoto's case, maybe for the Oilers, it was probably the best thing to happen. Thankfully for the Oilers, there's 3 interesting players to watch here next season for me that will really make or break what this Oilers team looks like this next season. For me, we got a couple of forwards starting out here. Of course, the first player to watch is Connor Brown. How healthy will he be? How much of a contributor will he be on that top 6 if he is there? To me, I think he can be that, but only if he's 100% healthy, and that might be something that does limit him if he's not. As for my second player to watch, I got Dylan Holloway, who was a top 20 pick for the Oilers a couple of years back. He is in a big opportunity here. He is a player that could really be a difference maker on that Oilers forward group. He's a player that might get some more opportunity this next year, especially if a player like Brown isn't working. But of course, with Kostin, with Bjugstad gone, with Yamamoto gone, there's a lot more opportunity for Holloway to break into this lineup in the middle 6. And to me, this is the year that he has to do it. Maybe not has to, but I could see him struggling and maybe getting traded at the trade deadline if that were to go that direction. As for my third player to watch, we're going to go into the goaltending here, and I do assume that Stuart Skinner will be solid, but to me, Jack Campbell really is necessary, getting him back to a at least okay level. I mean, the guy has been brutal for the Oilers since leaving Toronto. He's a player that needs to get back on his game, and even if he isn't a backup role, if he's still putting up good numbers, there is a chance that maybe the Oilers could ship him off after this season. It's probably a daydream, but Campbell just needs to do better. The amount he's getting paid, it's unacceptable that he's doing this, especially already how much Edmonton is cap strapped. Now let's go through and grade the forwards, defense, and goaltending, and you're looking at the best part of the roster right here. The forward group is absolutely elite. I mean, it's hard not to give this an A+, which is why I'm going to give it an A+, but of course, you got the absolute weapons like McDavid, like Draisaitl. Hyman has become an unreal point producer the past couple of years. Obviously, Nuge coming off in a 100-point season. Kane, when healthy, could be fantastic. You, of course, have players like Connor Brown. Hopefully, players like Dylan Holloway take that next step as well. The depth is the biggest weakness in the forward group, but I think it is still okay, especially if players like Holloway were to take that next step for them. That would be extremely important, and maybe on that third line could be really impactful, but A+ for the Oilers forward group. And then you got the defense, which is kind of all over the place. Ekholm makes it a whole heck of a lot better, but is CC and Nurse really the first pairing you really need to succeed? I don't know if that's going to work out. Hopefully we'll see Evan Bouchard take a big next step. Maybe we'll see Kulak still being competent on that bottom pair, maybe having a better playoffs. We'll have to wait and see for that. Overall, the Oilers defense is fine. I gave them a B-, but Ekholm really does make it a lot better. And then you go on the goaltending, which is pretty hard to grade for me because I could see Skinner maybe taking a slight step back from his rookie season, which was pretty fantastic, all things considered. And we'll see where Jack Campbell is right now. I'm going to give the goaltending a C+. It's not the worst in the league, but compared to a lot of other goaltending tandems, it leaves a lot to be desired still. To me, there is still so many questions for this Oilers roster, but to me, the biggest one might just be, do they have enough bite to get to the next level? This is something that I think the Oilers maybe not totally lacked, but it's something that I think in those clutch moments, in those big moments, have failed to come up with big hits, big physical plays, really be one of the more tenacious teams out there. And you see what Vegas was able to do, just dismantling them in so many ways defensively with their just incredible structure. To me, the Oilers need more clutchness, they need more bite, they need a lot more from that middle six. Players like Nugent Hopkins disappeared in the playoffs, and that can't happen again. To me, I think they have the weapons to potentially be a cup team. But it all comes down to those little moments, those clutch moments. McDavid can't do it all himself. There needs to be more contributors here, and that to me might be, again, the biggest thing that holds them back. But no doubt, they are still going to be a dominant regular season team, and I see them actually getting first in the Pacific. Some people might say Vegas gets that spot, but I think we might see some cup fatigue in their situation, especially with how older some of that roster is. I think the Oilers will get around 108 to 112 points in the Pacific, getting first in the Pacific Division. Winning the Stanley Cup might be a different story, but regular season-wise, this Oilers team is still going to be unreal. And they're going to be so good in the regular season that I'll probably predict them to win the Stanley Cup again, and they'd be disappointed when they don't. It's a very vicious cycle. Let us know down in the comments down below, though, what do you guys think of this Oilers team? Are they good enough to win the Stanley Cup? That is the biggest question for them, and has always been the biggest question over the past few years. But do you think they are a cup-winning team? Yes or no? Of course, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you guys are enjoying the preview so far. We, of course, got so many more coming up, 32 teams in 32 days, and thank you so much for watching all throughout. Appreciate it so much, y'all. Of course, make sure you share the video for all the hockey fans you guys know online, all the Oilers fans, and we will see you in the next one. Make sure you drink some water, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.